I'm here with a good friend of mine, Tom McKnight, and we're going to discuss Enoch's role in the second coming. And we're going to start by going forward one slide here. And I'm going to ask Tom if he would read Elder McConkey's statement here for us.
Sure. The Father called all spirits before him at the creation of man and organized them. This was the grand council in heaven of which we so often speak. He, Adam, is the head and was told to multiply. He, under Christ, was at the head in pre-existence, and he, under Christ, is at the head so far as all things pertaining to this earth are concerned. The keys were first given to him and by him to others. He will have to give an account of his stewardship, and they to him. And as all the spirits of men attended the grand council in preexistence, so all the righteous shall attend a like council at Adam on Diamond before the winding up scenes.
Okay, so that part there in red is sort of the main focus here, that all the righteous are going to be there at Adam on Diamond, which means what? When the meeting is held, in preparation, if you go to, let's see, it's Daniel chapter 7. Ancient of Days is there, and all these other people are there, and they have an accounting, some kind of accounting according to Joseph Smith of stewardships and so forth, maybe returning of keys and so forth and so on. And so I'm going to say that if you're one of the righteous who attend this meeting, you're going to see all this stuff happen, and then you're going to see Daniel chapter 7. I think it's verse 13. Where they look up, into the sky. They're all down upon the earth, okay, and they look up to the sky and they see the Son of Man descend, and he comes before Adam and receives the kingdom. In other words, keys and so forth that were on loan, so to speak, I guess, uh, are given back to Christ. And I'm going to say that's when his millennial reign will begin. So, well, how would you feel about being there, Tom?
Well, I anticipate being there one way or the other. I hope.
You hope. Okay. Well, if it's soon enough and we mind our P's and Q's, we could all be there, right?
We'll hope
Okay.
so. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to talk about what the conversations and communication the Lord had with Enoch in Moses chapter 7. And so we'll start here in verse 19. And Enoch continued his preaching in righteousness unto the people of God. And it came to pass in his days that he built a city that was called the City of Holiness, even Zion. So we've got two names there, City of Holiness and Zion. And of course, the other obvious term is the City of Enoch, right?
Right.
Right. So here's our first list, City of Holiness or Holy City, Zion, and City of Enoch are all the same thing. The titles may denote something a little bit different about it, but as we go along and get more understanding of this, um, our understanding and comprehension of the second coming and how it will happen with the righteous, kind of grows and expands. So We're here still in chapter 7 of Moses, but verse 62, and I'm going to read the red part here. And righteousness and truth will I cause to sweep the earth as with a flood, to gather out mine elect from the four quarters of the earth unto a place which I shall prepare, an holy city. So here we learn that the righteous are going to be gathered. And if we go on to this next scripture here, Joseph Smith Matthew 37, Tom, would you read that, the red part there for us?
Yeah. For the Son of Man shall come, and he shall send his angels before him with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together the remainder of his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Okay. And so in the previous verse, it said righteousness and truth, but here it tells us that it's angels, and that makes a little more sense to us. But either way, they're all gathered,
Hmm.
and in the instance of Moses 762, they're gathered to the holy city, right?
Seems to be the case.
So then I'll continue reading in the red uh, from, let's see, let me get my pointer up. Okay, from this point right here, that my people may gird up their loins and be looking forth for the time of my coming, for there shall be my tabernacle, and it, or my tabernacle, shall be called Zion, a New Jerusalem. So we get two more terms here, my tabernacle and a New Jerusalem. So that gets us up to five, right? And I'm going to say that this phrase right here, and be looking forth for the time of my coming, is actually referring to another appearance in the future, which is when the Lord appears to the Jews at the Battle of Armageddon, or his second appearance. So here's our new list. Now we're up to five terms. And the one term here, my tabernacle, I think we need to discuss that a little bit. And so let's go to this graphic here where we see, the an artist rendition of the tabernacle in the wilderness. Okay.
Hmm.
And then we see these others. These are actual pictures. That looks like it's probably in Jerusalem. We don't know where that one is, but these are mock-ups of the tabernacle. And during the Feast of Tabernacles, the Jews, their practice is to set these up. You see, this one's rectangular. This one's rectangular. It's hard to tell on these two because they're, a
Hmm.
straight on view.
Right.
Uh, but they actually believe that their Messiah will come to them and tabernacle with them. So when would we suppose this would happen? Maybe during the Feast of Tabernacles? What's your thoughts, Tom?
That's a new one for me. I'm still mulling it over, Frank.
Okay, let's move forward. Now, here's a state, it's from the Church History Library. Uh, Wendell Mace, a trustworthy church member in Nauvoo, reported that he heard Joseph Smith speak of the sign of the coming of the Son of Man, which all shall see, and that it would be the return of the city of Enoch. So that gives us six. Count my fingers. Okay. That gives us six terms that point to the same thing. And in this case, like I say, tabernacles is especially significant, and we'll discuss that more and even in the next video session. So let's see here. So here's again what we had discussed before in Daniel chapter 7 and in verse 13. And I saw in the night's vision and beheld one like the Son of Man coming with the clouds of heaven. So if you go to, I think it's Acts, is it Acts 1:11? The Lord had just been taken up before them, and the angel says, this same Jesus, which you have seen go into heaven, he will come down in like manner.
Mm-hmm.
That isn't that what we're told is going to happen at Adam on Diamond?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And who better qualified or worthy to be a witness that to that than the elect? You know, those who are worthy, the righteous, which Elder McConkie says, would all be there. And
Well, now isn't this the same event too when Jesus was being confronted by the Pharisees and Jesus said, I say unto you that you know you will see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven, referring to himself.
right, yeah. So and then here, continue reading. And came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him, before Adam, and there was given him, Christ, the Son of Man, dominion and glory and a kingdom, and all people, nations, and languages should serve him, and his dominion is an everlasting dominion, and shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So he gets all the keys, necessary keys, or whatever that he deserves, and like I say, I'm going to say that this is his first appearance, and then we'll get into some other discussion here as we move along.
Okay.
Okay, well now here's Revelation 21 verses 2 and 3. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven. So, as members of the church, we're aware of the New Jerusalem that we're going to build in Missouri, aren't we? But I don't know how many members of the church are really aware that there's a New Jerusalem that descends from heaven, okay? Which it's also, see, there's the other title, the Holy City, New Jerusalem, coming
Hmm.
down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband, which sort of points to the parable of the 10 virgins, and the righteous are there and are, come in and participate in that. And then in verse 3, and I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of God is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and God himself shall be with them and be their God. So when his tabernacle comes, city of Enoch, New Jerusalem, Holy City, whatever title you want to use, okay? When that happens, the Lord is with his people. So here's another interesting statement from Orson Pratt. Would you read that for us, Tom?
Do you want me to just read the red highlights or the whole thing?
Go ahead and read the whole thing.
So Orson Pratt said, "The throne of Enoch will also be in or near America, in the midst of his own city, Zion, which he built unto the Lord before the flood, and which fled from the earth to heaven, to be reserved until a day of righteousness should come, when it shall come again in the sight of the astonished nations, and have place until the end shall come. This city will most probably not rest upon the earth, but hover over it, and will be the abode of glorified immortal beings." Now, this is talking about during the millennium, correct?
Well, it's just saying that he's saying that when the city of Enoch returns, um, that I've underlined right here, and have place until the end shall come,
Right, in hovering above the earth.
hovering above the earth.
Right,
Okay. And then he goes on to say, it will probably not come down on the earth, but will, hover up above, right?
right. Well, to me, that, has some significance in that Joseph Smith said that Jesus, during the millennium, would not probably dwell on the earth, but that he would be reigning over the earth and visiting it quite frequently. And my thought is that if the earth during the millennium is still um, a terrestrial, in a terrestrial state, but this city where Jesus dwells above the earth would be in a celestial state. And so from this celestial sphere, he would come down to the earth and the angels, and they would administer to the terrestrial inhabitants, which would be us, during that time. Those are some of my thoughts anyway.
Okay. Yeah, we've discussed that before. Um, but I guess one of the points I want to make here, with what Orson Pratt says, is that it would probably not be upon the earth, and it will have place until the end shall come. Okay.
Right, right.
Now, I don't think that necessarily means the end of the 1,000 years,
Okay,
but at the end of the transition. The first part of the millennium, there's a transition. Okay. And but the millennium is 1,000 years.
correct.
So the Lord will not I can't see that it would be necessary for the Lord to be there that whole time. But it does say that he says here, have a place until the end shall come. So my point is, okay, the whole earth will see the sign of the Son of Man. Okay,
Coming. Uh-huh.
okay. But imagine now that they see it come, but it doesn't go away. It's still up there.
Right.
Okay. Isn't that going to be a sign to an end sign to the nations? Something's happening here.
Well, I'm not sure. You're saying when they see it coming, or once it's established in somewhat like an orbit or like the moon around the Earth?
Yeah, well, I
I mean,
somewhere else, it might have been Orson Pratt. I believe he said that it would maintain a position over Zion,
okay,
over
okay.
on the earth, the earthly Zion. Okay.
Yes, so, in other words, as the Earth rotates, like on a daily basis, Zion in orbit would be rotating with it, staying exactly above.
Yeah.
Uh,
And we don't know how many miles up
no,
or so
right,
forth. But I guess what I'm saying is that when this happens, those who are they're Christians, but they're not LDS,
right, right.
and they're saying, what's going on in, in Zion? What's happening there? Maybe I ought to check this out, you know.
Are you talking about in Zion, meaning in Zion above or in Zion on the earth?
Zion on the earth. Yeah.
Okay.
Because most of the people are going to be on the earth. Okay, so let's move on. Let me see here. DNC. Okay. Would you go ahead and start reading at verse 66?
Yeah. Do you know how far you want me to read?
I'll stop you if I need.
'Cause I part of the beginning, verse 75 is
Can,
blocked out
can
for
you
me.
can you?
I'll read it. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, there we
That's
go.
just where I move my mouse.
Right. And it should be called the New Jerusalem, a land of peace, a city of refuge, a place of safety for the saints of the Most High God. And the glory of the Lord shall be there, and the terror of the Lord also shall be there, insomuch that the wicked will not come unto it. And it shall be called Zion. And it shall come to pass among the wicked that every man that will not take his sword against his neighbor must needs flee unto Zion for safety.
Okay.
There's,
So so that's going to be a real incentive for people to come to Zion, isn't it? They
yeah,
don't want to be at war.
if you don't want to kill your neighbor.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
And there shall be gathered unto it out of every nation under heaven, and it shall be the only people that shall not be at war one with another. And it shall be said among the wicked, let us not go up to battle against Zion, for the inhabitants of Zion are terrible, wherefore we cannot stand. And it shall come to pass that the righteous shall be gathered out from among all nations, and shall come to Zion, singing with songs of everlasting joy.
Okay. So so what I see in this and all of this Zion coming, the New Jerusalem and hovering above and so forth and so on, is that once this happens, I think the church will just see exponential growth. Okay. This is this is probably, I mean, we're gathering Zion now. We're gathering a Zion people.
Uh-huh.
We're gathering Israel. Okay. But when this happens, then it's going to become exponential. It's going along like this, and then it's just going to go whoosh. Okay.
Got it.
So go ahead, continue.
And now I say unto you, keep these things from going abroad unto the world until it is expedient in me, that ye may accomplish this work in the eyes of the people and in the eyes of your enemies, that they may not know your works until ye have accomplished the thing which I have commanded you, that when they shall know it, that they may consider these things. For when the Lord shall appear, he shall be terrible unto them, that fear may seize upon them, and they shall stand afar off and tremble. And all nations shall be afraid because of the terror of the Lord and the power of his might. Even so, amen.
Okay. And so the Lord comes here and he doesn't you see it doesn't mean that there's still not evil in the world. He sets they come to realize, oh, we can't go up against Zion. They're too powerful. There's no way. We're toast if we do that. Okay. So
Mhm.
it's a transitional time. Okay. He will not at this point have overthrown all wickedness. Okay. So that's sort of the point there that I wanted to make
Okay, yet.
yet. Yeah. Let's see. Basically, we could go back to this Joseph Smith Matthew. These verses are just so key to understanding what's going to happen. And again shall the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet shall be fulfilled. And immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun shall be darkened, the moon shall not give her light, the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. So there's something that just precedes the second coming, and it's the abomination of desolation. And we're not going to go into the details. We'll make that a subject of its own in the future. If you want to look at all the signs, and this is my opinion, I've studied this for years. But if you want to look at all the signs that would really tell you that this is just going to happen, it's the abomination of desolation that happens just before he comes.
Okay.
Okay. Because he says, then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven. So I think we've probably, made some good points today. And in closing, I'm going to defer to Tom for just a second. Give us your overall impression
Um,
or thoughts or whatever.
well, just the the leaves are on the tree, and it's nearer to us, and we need to be alert and paying attention to the signs of the times.
We do. Okay, well, we'll make this the end of today's presentation, and we'll get back to the rest of you who are viewing when we get around to producing some more content. But thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next video.
Thanks for letting me be here, Frank.